the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. Damn, that's a mouthful. I'm just gonna call it the Max Pro M2 for this video. Okay, so with the Max Pro M1, Asus made a comeback into the budget segment. They started to get taken seriously again. Though not carrying the best cameras, the Max Pro M1 did, however, nail it in terms of performance, battery life, and especially the pricing. So what does Asus bring to the table this time around with the Max Pro M2? In today's video, let's unbox it first and take a quick look. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and let's get started. If you do end up liking this video, don't forget to turn on notifications by clicking that bell icon, and as always, here's a card to our current monthly giveaway in case you missed it. So this is the packaging that the Zenfone Max Pro M2 comes in. Anyway, let's remove that plastic cover and slide the top off. Pulling the box out and opening it up, we have the SIM ejector tool with an Asus logo on it. Then there are some leaflets and a transparent silicone case. Like I've said in many unboxings in the past, these are always welcome, should help get a better grip and keep that bag clean. Let's set that aside for now. Below that, we find the Max Pro M2 itself. Sliding it out of its plastic cover, here it is in all its glory. The plastic bag that has a glossy finish and does look nice. More on it later. Let's set the phone aside for now. Going back to the box, we find a micro USB cable. I really hope this trend of micro USB on mid-rangers ends at least in 2019. It's just sad, with the way tech's been evolving, everybody throwing in notches and everything, but still to see micro USB. So anyway, moving on, we've got a 10-watt travel adapter. The passive sound amplifier that came with the Max Pro M1 isn't here anymore. Now, with the unboxing out of the way, let's take a closer look at the phone itself. With the Max Pro M2, what immediately stands out most to the naked eye is that glossy finish at the back. This, however, isn't glass. It is a kind of highly glossy plastic that's made to look kind of like glass. We've seen this before with other phones in this segment, and it does look good. Also to the back, aligned to the left, we find the dual cameras and a single LED flash. In a vertical layout, the fingerprint scanner and the Asus logo follow that, and the rest of the back is pretty bare, save for some regulatory information printed to the bottom. Now, given that the Max Pro M1 had some trouble with the fingerprint scanner, it was a little slower than what you'd find on the competition, this was one of the first things I tested, and I'm happy to say there are no such issues with the fingerprint scanner this time around. It's much faster. Now, back to placements, the secondary noise cancelling mics up top, volume rockers and power button can be found to the right. To the bottom, we have the speaker, micro USB port, primary mic, and the headphone jack. Yay, that's alive. And finally, to the left, there's a tray. Now, this tray can hold 2 nano SIMs and a micro SD card. So that's a dedicated micro SD slot. So good to see that this has been carried over from the M1. Now that we have talked about the sides and the back, let's talk about the front. Up top, we have a slit for the earpiece followed by a notch. This notch holds the front-facing camera, a front-facing flash, and sensors followed by the display. The display itself is a 6.3-inch IPS LCD panel. It's got a Full HD Plus resolution and a 19:9 aspect ratio. In the short time we spent with it, this seems to be a really good panel. It looks bright, colors were vibrant, and the viewing angles seem great. The positives for the display don't just end there. It is also covered by Corning's latest Gorilla Glass 6. While we've seen Gorilla Glass 6 on phones like the OnePlus 6T and the Galaxy Note 9 in the past, it's nice to see Asus use it even in the budget segment. I think it's a first for the segment. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below. Do you know any other phone that comes with Gorilla Glass 6 in this segment? Overall, the build here seems to be solid. Even though the phone has a glossy plastic back, it doesn't feel too slippery. The in-hand feel is great too, no creaking or other quality issues. One thing to note here is that this back is a fingerprint magnet. So if you plan on using this phone without a case, you're gonna probably end up constantly wiping it to keep it for it to continue looking this nice and shiny. So now with the build out of the way, let's talk software and specs. The Zenfone Max Pro M2, just like its predecessor, comes with an almost stock build of Android 8.1 Oreo. Almost everything is left stock except for very few tweaks. For example, you get double tap to wake and sleep, an option to change the white balance of the screen, and Asus's own camera app. But for the most part, the rest of the UI is pretty clean, pretty stock, not a lot of bloat here. Now, stock Android plus Snapdragon 660, that's something we've seen in the past with the mAh, and similarly, just like there, the performance here is also excellent. The interface felt fast and fluid, apps opened up quick, and I feel this is an excellent follow-up to the Max Pro M1. At least, those are my initial impressions. Now, if there was one complaint about the mAh, it would have been, the low capacity battery. But that's not an issue here, since with the Max Pro M2, Asus continues the tradition of putting in a behemoth battery. The M1 had a 5000 mAh battery, the Pro M2 also has a 5000 mAh battery, so I expect the battery life to be excellent. Now, the one area where the Max Pro M1 was found lacking was with the cameras, and with the Max Pro M2, the cameras do look good. That seems to be one area where Asus have put in a lot of effort. Again, it's just initial impressions. We do have a 12 megapixel primary sensor with a f1.8 lens. Now, this is not just any random sensor, it's the Sony IMX486, the same one found on the mAh. The secondary is a 5 megapixel depth sensor. As you can see, the images seem to have good detail and the dynamic range is impressive. Now, just look at the sky here. Now, to the front, we get a 13 megapixel selfie shooter with a f2 lens and a front firing flash. And here are some samples taken with it. How do you think it fared? Let me know in the comments below. With all that said, this is the point where we talk price, but as of now, I don't know what the pricing is gonna be, because I'm shooting it, I have this phone under embargo and I'm shooting it before the launch. Now, if I were to hazard a guess, I'd say Asus is targeting the Redmi Note 6 Pro, so I'm guessing the Zenfone Max Pro M2 will be priced around the 15,000 rupee mark. Now, once I do get to know the official pricing, I will add it to the description, so please do check that space. For now, for around 15,000 rupees, I feel this phone really is interesting. Asus have kept all of what made the Max Pro M1 great, like stock Android, the battery, the triple SIM slot, while addressing the pain points like cameras. Now, I will have more to say once I'm done testing this phone and I'm coming out with the full review. So till then, what do you think about the Zenfone Max Pro M2? Are you excited? Is this something you can see yourself buying? Do you want a comparison with the Realme 2 Pro, the mAh, with the Redmi Note 6 Pro? Let me know in the comments below and I will try to get that done, and I will also pin one of your comments, so go on, let me know what you feel. And now with that, we get to the end of this unboxing. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on what you felt about it. Share the video with your friends and family if you can. Also subscribe and click that bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our daily content. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.